Hey, sports fans, Louis Diamond in the BettorCenter handicapping studios with your Sunday version of BettorCenter Live NFL style. And today we have three guests for you that are going to knock it out of the park for you. A couple of them mathematicians. One's a brand new guest, and that's Marsham Aksalab. We'll be bringing him along shortly. We also have Jack Seven. Came with some nice statistical winners for us yesterday. Nailed it. Had some strong stuff for us today. Hopefully he's got some solid winners for you. So stick around for that. And then we got Big Rick again, looking to blueprint the Sunday card for us one more time here on BettorCenter Live. So let's get right down to it with today's games. And first game, we're already in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter over in London right now. Jacksonville tearing it up. 44-0 over Baltimore. Never saw that one coming. Thank God I left that game alone. But a 44-0 from Jacksonville is quite surprising. Cleveland, Indianapolis, terrible game here today. Looking like an under in my eyes, but the game got steamed a little bit over from 41-43. Indianapolis getting a little bit of love as a home dog. I just have a tough time thinking that there's any way to put any money on that game. Pittsburgh at Chicago looks like a nice teaser for Pittsburgh for me. I can't see them losing this game. They could be flat. It's a non-conference game, and they're traveling on the road. It's not a big game for them, so they'll probably be a little bit flat. So I'd be a little bit worried about them, but they'll probably find a way to win. Miami and the Jets, another garbage game. Two teams, I don't see them being able to put the points on the board. Another under to me, but has been bet to the over, 41-43.5. Buffalo and Denver. How's Buffalo going to score on this Denver defense? Well, maybe Denver defense a little bit flat after the big game, traveling on the road. That is possible. So if Denver doesn't bring their A game, maybe the Bills got a little shot as a home dog. But if Denver brings that A game, Buffalo going to struggle to score. And another underplay there. So I'm seeing some unders, and we've been seeing that in the NFL. So maybe some teaser unders as well. And then we have Houston and New England. Let's look at this. New England, yeah, everybody jumped on them last week. They were going to rebound and da-da-da. Guess what? They got to rebound at home. Look what they did to all their fans. This is a team that has a lot of pride in their fans. They rebound today big against Houston. I think they tear it up, and I think it's a nice solid over. New Orleans and Carolina, the Saints have done nothing but cover against Carolina. Why is it going to be any different today? You know, I don't see any different. I see a little bit of an edge for the Saints. Tampa, Minnesota, I think Tampa just blows a lot of teams out this year. I think they're going to be the NFL darling that everybody is going to be buzzing about. I think this is their year. I think it'll show maybe today against Minnesota. But I think this may be the big coming out game because they blow out Minnesota on the road. People are going to start looking at them, and the value will be gone on them. Atlanta at Detroit. You got to like Detroit as a nice little home dog here. Atlanta has not, I don't see them as, they were impressive last week against Green Bay. There's no doubt, but I still don't know if they are that team coming off of the hangover, if they're going to be blowing teams out. Detroit, they got to feel a lot of confidence right now. They're at home and they're a 3-point dog. I'm gonna say Detroit on the teaser is probably the play, and probably the over on the teaser as well there. The Giants at Philly, I got to sit down and say that everybody's got all over Philly. The Giants just look so bad, so bad. So how can you put money on them? But there's probably the play there today, +6 in a nice divisional game, but I can't touch it. Can't touch it. Seattle at Tennessee. Tennessee getting some big steam today. Not a lot of confidence in that Seattle team right now. Quite possibly in disarray. Could be the fall of the Seahawks being seen here today. We'll see. Chargers and the Chiefs. Chargers, what do? They lose by close games all the time, so it's very hard to bet against them in a tight divisional game, especially with these two teams. But Kansas City probably should blow them out today. I'm thinking this might be a big Kansas City day. Green Bay is another beautiful teaser play. Beautiful teaser play. All they got to do is win at home against a team that hasn't scored a touchdown on the offense. Simple as that. So you got to be a little bit worried about the over, but Green Bay over at home is always something. But Green Bay on the teaser, easy money, probably blow out Cincinnati here today. Washington and Oakland, and this is a chance for Oakland to prove everybody that they are here. It's a road game against a team that's not a contender, so to speak. I don't think Washington will be a contender by the season's end. So we're going to see what the Raiders have to do here because they're also in a non-conference game on the road. Good spot traveling all the way from coast to coast almost, and then it's a good spot for them to be flat. But if this team's got something going this year, this is the spot. All right, so that's a quick little rundown from me. But now let's get the BettorCenter handicappers on the board here, and let's get started with Marjam Akseleb, all the way from Greece. Greece. How you doing, Marjam?
On this show. I'm MB from Slovenia, basically from Europe, on the other side, and I'm the
Slovenia.
owner of Slovenia, like Melania Knauss, Melania Trump.
There you
I'm
go.
from the same, and I'm the founder of OnTheChance.com site. And what I do, I basically use statistics when I bet. I project the lines for all kind of sports. I started with MLB and NHL, but I this season I have started with NFL for the first time. So I made some regression analysis. I took historical data, and I try to project. I try to predict every single game what will happen, how many points will score teams, and what will be the total. And basically, I projected the totals and the lines for every single game. And then I look at the difference between my lines and the bookmaker's lines. And this is how I bet. So I basically look to find the value, right? Because I think the statistics is more and more important. Because I think in the future there will be no possible to beat bookmakers only by intuition. Because bookmakers are smarter and smarter. They use all kind of experts, mathematicians. They set really sharp odds. And I think the traditional handicapping, where you use information, will be dead because information with the internet is easy to find. So the real catch is in the numbers. And this season I started with NFL. I call it NFL Challenge. Last week I went 9-2, so I hit 9 games and I lost only 2. And for today I have I think 6 plays, and the first game is Giants against Eagles. Uh, I will go with the under 42.5. I have projected that this total should be much lower, around 30, 32 or 33. Then the next game, Denver Broncos against Buffalo Bills. I took again under 40.5. I have projected with my formulas that this game should be at around 36. And Saints against Panthers, I have over 47. I have projected uh, 53.5 for this game.
That's surprising.
So the next game, Houston Texans against New England Patriots. I took under 44. My projections show that this game could be around 38. And the last game that I took for this week is Cincinnati Bengals against Green Bay Packers, also under 46.5. I projected for this game 41. So basically, I use some regression analysis. I took historical data for the last couple of seasons. I try to predict every single game what will happen, and then I calculate the lines, my lines, and the totals. This is pretty same what bookmakers do, right? And when I see the difference between my lines and the bookmakers' lines is more than 4.5, then I take this bet. Last week I went 9-2. Let's see how I will go this week.
All
And this
right.
is what I do.
That's awesome stuff because what do you put in those numbers? What are the give us a couple ideas of some of the things that you might be looking at so when the model spits out say these unders, what are the things you're specifically looking for?
So first thing, I took every data that I had. I make some correlation. So I wanted to find what are the most important factors for one game, and then I try to find the formula for calculating those points, right, and the totals. So possession, touchdowns, and all kind of stuff. This is new sport for me. I will go deep every year with this sport. I like to dig and I want to improve it every year. So this is the first time I'm testing this model, and this is what I did for this week.
That's
So
great.
I took every data that I have, and then I exclude the data which I think that is not important for the game.
Great. Okay, so you got plenty of picks there for us today. Your NFL, this is something new for you, but you were successful last week. You've been very, very successful in the baseball world. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I bet on baseball for last 15 years because when I was studying civil engineering, I had a lot of math and statistics, but I love also sports and sports betting. And I knew that with math and statistics, I can beat the bookmaker, right? So I was looking for the sport with a lot of data because when you have a lot of data, you can make better predictions. And this is why I decided for baseball because in one baseball season there's 2,430 regular season games, right? So I could start from the scratch and I can make a lot of data, a lot of analysis, and because of that I started with NHL, with MLB, and then NHL, and so on. With NFL, it is a little bit more difficult because the season doesn't have so many games, and I think bookmakers love NFL too because it is a little bit harder to predict those lines and the totals. But I still think that on the long run, if I will work on the model, I think it will have good results too.
Awesome. So that's great stuff, Marjam. So if you're on the Better Center board in Facebook, you'll see him as MB Oxalab, and he's been putting some great stuff out there. He's just not giving picks. He's giving you some serious analytics on these picks, and baseball's been doing wonderful. This show has really been geared towards football, but if you go to underdogchance.com or if you go to the Facebook board, you're going to see some great statistical information that Marjam's given us to us every day. Very grateful for you giving us that stuff, Marjam. Appreciate you joining us here today, and I hope to have you here next weekend, maybe with some more NFL plays for us, and we'll recap what you did here today.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you for having me, and I wish you good luck with today's play, whatever it takes.
Same to you, and looking forward to seeing you again. And don't forget, Marjam is MB Oxalab, Underdog Chance on the Better Center board. So look for him out there. He'll have his picks out there, and he'll be out there giving us some great mathematical guidance. All right. So let's, meanwhile, we have sitting in the queue. Who do we have next on the queue, Eugene? Nobody just yet. We're going to see who's going to be there, but we're going to bring in Big Rick and Jack 7 to get us some details on what they got going here today. Okay. And MB, I know you're sitting there, but we got to have you cut off so we can get the next person in. So if you don't mind just cutting off, and we'll get the next person in line, and we're going to get you some more details here for Sunday's NFL. And right now, a little more steam on the Saints. I was kind of surprised when MB came in with that over for the Saints and the Panthers, as they have a history of going under. But once again, when you have these mathematical formulas, the long history doesn't play into some of those as much as maybe I like to play into them. But I hate to bet against those histories, because one thing I know is when a team goes to a certain venue and it's been going that way for a certain amount of time, when they go back to that venue, they feel like they're back in that time frame, and a lot of things happen. So in this game, the Saints have covered 4 straight, the underdog 5 straight, the over has gone over 4 of the last 5 times, but 11 of the last 14 in Carolina have gone under. That would scare me. I know that you're going back 14 years and different teams and different that, but you got to. It's something that they have a history, and it's tough to deny that. So the road team has done a great job in the series, 22-9, the last 31 games. So and 4 straight overs for the Saints versus their NSC opponents, 5 straight overs overall. So that was a little bit surprising for me with that one. Definitely not surprised with that Denver and Buffalo game under, and he had a total of 36. I really think Buffalo's going to really struggle to put the points on the board here today because I'm not sure that Denver defense. I mean, they've been that good and they're looking good, and that's how they've had to eat for the past few years. So I think that Buffalo may have a tough time here today. And then he also came at us with the New England and Houston under. Now, that New England-Houston under, that would scare me any time. I'm a big New England over fan, obviously. I think if you just bet New England over at the every week, at the end of the season, you're going to be plus. And if you just bet New England every week at the end of the season, you're going to be plus. So, and I think if you bet New England this week, you're certainly going to be plus. I don't think it's going to be a close game. But the under could very well hit because, Houston has struggled to put the points on the board, but New England's defense has just been so bad. And so that's amazing that the numbers came up. I'm more shocked that the numbers came that way. I also had the Giants and Philly under. That's kind of, it seems almost like a no-brainer right there. Giants can't put anybody on or any points on the board, struggling with that offense, and got to believe that that will continue here today. They're going to have to live on defense, and they maybe defensive score. I'm not sure. And then what else did he have here? Green Bay and Cincinnati under. Well, when you're doing the numbers, it's got to be very obvious when Cincinnati hasn't scored an offensive touchdown all season that it's going to come up to be an underplay. And, the NFL has been going under so far this season. So, I just have a tough time. I just have a very tough time playing a Green Bay game under at home. That's kind of my only fear of that. And but it does look like it's probably the right play because I don't think Cincinnati is going to get themselves better in Green Bay. So let's bring out the other mathematician, and that is Jack Savin. Jack had a great day yesterday, gave everybody some nice winners. And what do we got going here today? How you doing?
Great. Thank you very much. It's good to be on today. We were that one last second play from the big Iowa money line. I was tough about that one. That one hurt.
Yeah, but Iowa did what everybody kind of expected, but that would have been a nice little money line cash.
Definitely. So yeah, today I got a couple of unpopular ones. I think just from what I look, some of the numbers. I know that Denver Buffalo. A lot of people are saying that's an under. However, I see that one going over 39 today. Oh, yeah. So that's one of my ones that the numbers are peeking at me a little bit on.
Now, is that because Denver's offensive Denver just had a phenomenal output yesterday. How much weight was, or last week, how much weight was into that?
I like that one. I know that last second pick six against the Cowboys put him at 42, but Denver is third in scoring. I know Buffalo's 25th, but both of them run the ball well. And I just, for some reason, it's just going anti the line there. So I do like the over on that one.
All right.
My other one is also kind of the same thing. I think you picked it there in the site, but I do like the Giants getting 6 against Philadelphia.
I picked it for the sake of picking something. I have a tough time asking a bad team to do something good, and that's putting money in my pocket. So I have a tough time backing it. Why you come with the Giants today? No offense.
Motivation is a pretty high value on this one. I know they've had a couple of really, really bad weeks, but I just see them. They have a history of when they need to win. They have a knack for doing that. And I don't think their offense is as bad as they've shown. So I look for them to kind of get on track today. Maybe not win, but I definitely think getting 6 at Philadelphia is a good play on that one.
All right, Giants, history isn't on your side here either because 1-5 against the number at the last 6 games versus Philly, 1-3-1 at Philly, and the favorite 5 out of 6 straight covers. So you don't have those trends on your side there today, but you're going with more or less that the human motivation. The cat is backed into the corner and has to fight their biggest fight today. Is that probably a good assessment?
A couple of values I like. I do like, a few things that are a little intrinsic, I guess. Just some offensive values that I think going versus defensive values. So it spit out a number, so I got to go with it.
There you go. Well, that's what the numbers are for. Okay, so what else are we looking at today?
I will be putting these up too on the site there on the Facebook group, but I will put up a chart for Kansas City. I do like that one. I'm looking for some numbers, but the other game I do like the Raiders -3. That one could drop a little bit, but I will put a chart on that one as well to explain that one. But I do like the way the Raiders score. I know Washington at home is a little bit more of a favorite pick there, but I do like the Raiders -3.
All right. You know what? I really like the Raiders myself. I'm just, they've turned a corner, but I think that they get overpriced. But 3-point road favorite in a non-conference game is something that worries me. But doesn't mean I would ever like Washington in this scenario. I think Oakland could have a big coming out party here today with a blowout, and they could very well blow this team out. I don't think Washington brings much to the table.
Right, I agree, and they're not bad. I just, for some reason, I'm kind of like you. I just think Raiders, they're kind of on a roll. I know coming out east, some people don't like that as much, but I really do. I like them here. And then one I found, I just wanted to add, that kind of came up and creeped up to us. I think there's a little value on the Detroit money line, and then also Detroit total team over 23.
Detroit over 20. Okay, so that looks to me like a dead over, an easy over, because Atlanta probably going to put the points on the board, and but I do like Detroit there as a home dog. I think they got a nice shot to win this game outright. It's a spot for Atlanta to be flat after the big revenge game or the big Green Bay game last week. So I agree with you there.
Right, absolutely, and it's one of more of those criterions that kind of spit out a good value line. Similar to yesterday, a couple, but I like Detroit there, possibly straight up win. So I like it when it shows that.
Great. All right, why don't you let the viewers get an idea how to get a hold of you again and get the information and give us a little rundown on what you're offering everybody there, Jack 7.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. I will post on your group page, but it's piratesportsgroup.com. I was really, really thankful for having me on yesterday. I got a lot of positive feedback, so I definitely appreciate that. But again, we're just wanting to save people time. I put up a little simple charts for people to kind of figure out, but I'll explain a little bit what we do if you need to. But piratesportsgroup.com is where you get us. And I just look to help people out. We want to put some money in people's pockets.
All right. Well, Jack 7, Jack, we really appreciate you joining us. We've gotten great feedback as well. People like what you're saying, and they like what you're giving us, and we hope to have you again here next weekend.
Awesome. That's great. I really appreciate it, Lou, and anytime, man. I'll do it for you anytime.
All right, great. Jack 7, piratesportsgroup.com. He spending some time out with us over on Facebook. You could also, he's also starting to register some plays on the BettorCenter board, where the handicappers, there's a lot of you out here right now. So I didn't just look for players. I was looking for handicappers. I'm looking for the best handicappers. And when I find these best handicappers, the guys that are really bringing some good stuff to the table, I want to bring them to the forefront. I want to win. There's no doubt about it. And I am not the end-all, be-all to winning. You never learn something from somebody that agrees with everything you're doing. You got to get both views and then make your own opinion. So, Jack, if you don't mind, we need to get you to unhook so we can bring in Big Rick here. Big Rick will be joining us here
Awesome.
shortly with his big schedule. Hopefully, he'll be able to blueprint some winners for us. So, but once again, Jack 7 over at the Pirate Sports Group. So, handicappers, you want some free marketing? Obviously, this is the place to be. You put your picks out there. Register yourself over at BettorCenter.com. Put out a profile, throw out some picks, put out an offer. Join us here on Better Center Live. Promote those offers and give the players an idea of how you're doing this season and how you're picking your games. So we're bringing real guys to the table. Listen, Marjam, Jack, these guys are math guys, and at the end of the day, guys like me sitting around watching games all day, we're dinosaurs. Okay, yes, we're going to have that information of seeing the momentum happening and having that experience, but so do the bookmakers now. This is a game of robots versus robots. Okay, so I'm looking for the robots to add to what I have been able to bring to the table for the last 30 years. So that's what Better Center is really going to be about. Finding the real ways to beat the man, not with just the big sensational stories of I got this and this is going to win. And, you know, it's about the long term. And that's one thing that I learned a long time ago. But most gamblers, listen, if you put all the gamblers in one big room and there's maybe 10, 12 million sports gamblers in America, who knows worldwide, how many of them can actually think long term? Not too many of them. They're chasing for today. And this is what this is about, trying to let you know it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And the math brings the marathon to the table. So you're not sitting down saying, whoa, this game's on TV. It's a big game. I got to bet a lot. I just know. You're just trying to make a nice system to grind out some winners. So, and we got some line moves right now with the Chiefs and the Chargers. That game has been steamed up. 45.5 up to 47.5. So we definitely got some steam happening on there. And New England went as high as 15 right now. I think New England's going to be in blowout mode here today. I don't think they're going to be very nice to Houston. They have some making up here to do. And we have a total of 50 down to is from 50 to 51.5 on the Detroit-Atlanta game. And I believe Marjam came in with that one with an over. And that kind of looks like would be a normal overplay. So Tampa Bay is, the steam has been on Minnesota against me, thinking Tampa Bay may be the team that you want to jump on a train on. And then we have Oakland has been bet down a little bit, down to 3. There's some 3.5s out there, but they have been bet down. And that's about it for the line moves. Do we have Big Rick sitting in the hopper? Big Rick's not in the hopper. So, Big Rick, sorry we're going to have to miss you here this week. Games are going off here shortly, and now we're going to get this in a nice little replay. I want to thank Marjam, MB Oxaleb, and Jack 7, once again, from Pirate Group Sports, Jack 7, and Marjam, MB Oxaleb from UnderdogChance.com. And look for more exciting, good, quality handicappers here next Saturday, 1 hour before kickoff on Better Center Live. We weren't even live.